Alright, what is going on, people of the internet, and welcome back to the episode of Ark Survival Evolved Mythbusters, and this time we are looking at the brand new Terrorbird, and I love this mount. I'm going to say right now, I've played around with this mount for at least the last half an hour, and I think it might be my favorite mount in the entire game, simply because it is so much raw power, and it's so fast when you put movement speed on it. It's not quite the same speed as a max speed Gallimimus. I actually did some testing. It's quite close, but it's not the fastest mount in Ark. It's probably a close second or maybe even a third, depending on if the Procoptodon or a Rex at max movement speed could potentially outtake it. So this thing is absolutely amazing. You can see it's got pretty good stats. It's got 500 stamina, which is actually a lot more. It's only got 180 weight, which isn't particularly great, but that's enough for one rider and all of his personal needs, as long as you keep your weight a little bit reduced, so you don't have to worry about slowing this guy down, because you really don't want to. And if you look at the way that this thing attacks, it is just this absolute fury of attacks. And that was only level 8 Carbonemus, but never underestimate the bulk of a Carbonemus. Now you take a look at the Phiomia that we have here, and something that I realized pretty quickly is this thing plays like a Carno on steroids, because the Terrorbird is absolutely phenomenal at attacking things, even at base stats, which I have right now. And you can see I'm chewing through these low-level guys, and it would probably be the same story with the high-level ones, because the Terrorbird has such a fast attack, and it just keeps going, and it can get in 3 hits or 4 hits per second, that if you run into this thing on your own, you're likely dead. I would hate running into Carnos early game, because they can keep up with the player pretty easily, and if you run into them while you're in a forest, you're likely dead. Now you can see here we got 2 mate-boosted Raptors, one of which is over level 90, so this should be a pretty decent fight. I mean, if you had any bit of points invested into this mount, it wouldn't be a question, but this is a stock Terrorbird, keep in mind. So what you're looking at right here is what you would probably be getting if you had a max movement speed mount, which we're going to be testing here today. Now, can I make the justification for you putting all of your points into movement speed on the Terrorbird? And in fact, I can, because there are so many ways to play this creature. You could play it like a venturing mount by putting more points into stamina, so you could glide better. In fact, you wouldn't even need to, because as you can see, as you will see later, I take it to the top of the volcano and jump it off of it, and I land with about half stamina remaining, pretty far away as well. And what I think the Ark devs decided to do was not to punish people who wanted to use this as a gliding mount, and so if you're holding down the fly button, which is more of a glide button really, you can actually take quite a bit of reduced fall damage. So you can see here, this thing's really going now, and it's one of the best climbers that I think I've ever seen in the game. Getting to the top of the volcano in this thing was so easy, just because you can jump, it can climb vertical walls practically, and if you make a mistake you can just hold that glide button and recorrect in midair, because it has such a good turning radius, no matter where you are, if you're on the ground, if you're in the water, if you're in the air. This is probably the best creature I've ever worked with, and it just feels amazing to use, and it just got this amazing power to it. And it's so fun, and it's really derpy. It kind of looks like a baby Dodo Rex, really. So the Terrorbird is brand new to Ark, and I recommend that everybody go get one. And even if you can't find one, go summon one and Forcetame it, because it's just the best thing that I've ever used. And you can see it's more of a gliding creature for small jumps than a big jumps, because if you're going over a volcano, you're probably going to have some problems with drop-off. And you can see here I try to jump to the dead island. It can one-shot a tree, which is really nice, adding to that amazing movement across dense forest, because you can chop down trees and climb over rocks with ease. But you got an Alpha Rex here, and what do you do when there's an Alpha Rex? You gonna fight it? Nah, you gotta run. So we're gonna go take it to the dead island, and we're gonna see how far it can cross the ocean using its glide, and it gets about 75% of the way, which is absolutely phenomenal, and its swim speed as well is quite good. So the Terrorbird can be played in many different ways. I would, in fact, personally, from what I've seen, put a couple points into maybe stamina, not that many, maybe like 3 or 4, put like 50% of my points into movement speed, and put the rest into health and damage, because this thing could become an incredible all-around mount, probably the best one in the entire game. So we found a level 1.5 million Dodo. I'm not even sure how, but we were zooming on the top of the mountain, one of the mountains. This is actually the northeast mountain, I think, and look at how good this thing climbs. It's practically going up vertical walls, which is just absolutely amazing, and it's got a low profile, so it can just slip through those gaps that most other things couldn't. A Rex you couldn't take up here, Spino definitely not. But the Terrorbird has no issues. Now, we've returned on top of the volcano, and what are we going to do here? Well, we're going to jump it off of it, of course. So, we're just going to go ahead and get lined up here. I actually do have a new background, and it was made, I didn't even ask the guy for it, for YouTube. It was made by Empty Names, and he did a really good job, and so if you want to, go check out his channel. He actually has some pretty interesting content on it. I was impressed, and he doesn't get a lot of views, so he hasn't posted in a little bit, but I think those things go hand in hand, because I know if I wasn't getting a lot of views for stuff I was putting a lot of work into, that I probably wouldn't be posting like he is right now. So I guess go show his channel some love, because he did a really good job on the background, and I really like it. So we're gonna go ahead and jump this thing off the side of the volcano, and you can see here it starts out really well. It's not the best, you know, kind of flyer, obviously, because its wings, they're pretty small. They get the job done though, but as you can see, as you go further and further, you'll notice on the horizon the drop off really starts to kick in, and the Terrorbird starts to fall quite fast. So the tower defense event, actually, I don't know if I can do it this weekend. It was supposed to be today, and it was supposed to be yesterday too, but something has come up as a bit of an emergency, so I'm working on this video, and then I'm going to have to go make sure I take care of that. But I realized I didn't handle it too well, and I'm going to try and put out an announcement video. So keep posted for that, because I want to give everybody an equal opportunity to join us. So you can see we only took about 10% damage from that fall, even though we were traveling downward quite quickly. So I guess the Ark devs didn't want to punish people too much for trying out the flying, or trying out the glide and then landing with it. So you can see here, I test to see if you can save it for the bottom of your fall to recover, and you can't actually use the gliding as a recovery effort. So if you're going to go for a glide, you have to commit from the very beginning. You can't necessarily correct it from the end. So that's pretty much it from us. Thank you for watching. If you've got suggestions for the next video, Mythbusters, max speed, whatever, you can leave them in the comments, and we'll see you then. So thanks for watching. This has been the Terrorbird. I strongly recommend this mount. It's just absolutely phenomenal. So go out there and get yourself a Terrorbird. The commands will all be in the description, and we hope to see you in the next Ark Tower Defense. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace. Gallimimus, I wasn't sure if it got a reduced fall damage because it is a jumping mount. In reality, that mount is solely based on movement speed. You don't know whether or not the Ark devs wanted to incorporate a mechanic that made it so you could be a little bit less penalized for falling. So the Raptor here obviously would not have the exact same kind of benefits, and you can see 70% damage received once again. We're going to summon in the Alpha T-Rex, and then it's going to get effectively one-shot by the 1.5 million Dilo. And, well, what have you got left? You got 300 movement speed, stock.